don't forget to like and subscribe or I'll come to your house and slap your bum.
This is the document that I'll attach, the PDF document that I'll attach, and there should be any questions that you've got should be answered in this document about, you know, current legislation. So let's get to the bit that I'm going to be talking about, because there's a lot of literature in here of, you know, potential issues. Tumble dryer poorly maintained are, the largest causes of domestic house fires. So, you know, like there's little bits of guidance like that that's not necessarily something here that's a problem, but it's like something that could become a problem as well. Carbon monoxide, how it can affect your family, blah, blah, blah. Exit doors, width of stairways, fire extinguishers, fire blankets. Specifically here for this property, it says there, ensure the barbecue fire pit is moved away from the property. Bins away from timber cladding. So there's absolutely everything is covered on this report that you will get from your fire inspector. And then everything obviously needs to make sure whatever recommendations are on there, it's done. So as there's no emergency lighting in the property, you got they're allowed to put torches, basically rechargeable torches, on the walls at multiple locations, and that then gives you a compliance with not having emergency lighting. So they're acceptable in a replacement instead of emergency lighting. So torches need to be tested weekly, and then you also need to document this in a logbook. So there's a lot of work to be done on the landlord side, you know, for holiday lets anyway. You've got a logbook for emergency lighting, you've got a logbook for fire alarms and CO. You've got to make sure that all these things are tested regularly and then made notes of that as well. Depending on like what fire alarm system you get, if you get self-test system, that means you don't need to document it because it's automatically testing, but it's a lot more expensive. So anyway, carbon monoxide detector, yeah, check them. Schedule a 5-yearly electrical installation condition report next due March 2028. The fire inspector has got that information from the customer. Has not produced any paperwork, and there's no stickers on the consumer unit. So that's incorrect. So you need to make sure that this stuff is right, because otherwise he would have gone along, carried on renting this place out, and if something, it rarely happens, but if something had happened, he'd have been screwed there. So I've checked all this information. I've checked all this fire report over. I've been and I've done a bit of a survey of his house. Just make sure that what the fire inspector said he definitely needs, or he doesn't need a bit more than what the fire inspector said. So gas checks, fire doors checked quarterly. I'm not going to look at the stuff that we're specifically looking at now, because there's a lot of information on here. I'm not going to go through it all. Emergency lighting testing and maintenance, firefighting equipment testing and maintenance, miscellaneous tests, PAT testing, gas safe certificates, electrical installation testing, fire safe logbooks, fire drill evacuation, fire safety logbook for fire drill and evacuation procedures, fire safety risk assessment, fire safety logbook. So if you're also you've got a mains detector system in the house, you need to be doing like weekly or monthly checks of that, but annually I think it needs to be checked by a legit electrician to say that it's all working. So you need to do your work regularly, weekly, monthly, and then you're gonna have to pay somebody to do it annually as well. So this is what we are looking at here for the fire alarm. So upgrade or replace fire alarm system as follows: kitchen mains powered interlink heat detector, utility room mains powered interlink heat detector, sitting room mains powered interlink smoke detector, all 3 bedrooms mains powered interlink smoke detectors, top of stairway mains powered interlink smoke detector. There will be a need for interlinked domestic smoke alarms and heat alarms of the type normally found in houses and flats. In all areas where a fire might start, smoke alarms should be installed in hallways, corridors, staircases, lounges, dining room and bedrooms. Heat alarms should be installed in every kitchen and in any other rooms such as laundry or utility rooms in which false alarms might occur from smoke alarms. So you might get dust particles, you might get bits of other things in there that might set false alarms off. So in there we use kitchens, obviously, yeah, someone could burn some food, so we'll have smoke particles in here and potentially dust particles in the utility barn, so we'd have to fit in there heat detectors to minimize false alarms. So there you go. Due to cooking fumes, steam, dust, etc. If roof voids contain any combustible materials or sources of ignition, detection should also be present in there. It's not normally necessary to install a smoke or heat alarm in bathrooms or toilets. All smoke and heat alarms in these premises should be interlinked so that when an alarm device detects fire, all smoke and heat alarms give an audible alarm simultaneously. Interlinking may be by means of wiring or radio signalling. Preferably, all smoke and heat alarms should be mains powered with a tamper-proof standby power supply consisting of a battery. These are technically known as grade D1 alarms. The alternative solution that we was just describing before. However, long life sealed battery alarms, known as grade F1 alarms, wireless linked, may be acceptable as a short-term measure, say around 2 to 3 years. That's a bit vague, isn't it? Say in brackets, say around 2 to 3 years. Nice one. A guide to making your small paying guest accommodation safe from fire. Battery-operated torches in each of the 3 bedrooms in case of a power failure. Install a carbon monoxide detector adjacent to oil-fired boiler in utility room. Installing in accordance to supplier's instructions. And then fire extinguishers. Test fire alarm system weekly and recording the fire safety logbook supplied. Instruct an alarm engineer to test fire alarm system 6 monthly and record in the fire safety logbook. So there you go. I said annually, so I was wrong. Instruct a fire alarm engineer to check this every 6 monthly. So you need to pay a professional to test this every half a year and record it in your logbook, which you've been recording data in for, every month, every week and month. So there's a lot of paperwork to go on here to prove that you've been maintaining the system that you get installed. So that's what you need to receive from a fire inspector. Then your electrician will look through this, dismantle it, and then decide what we need to put in the house according to this report. So I'm just going to show you now what we've got, what we've decided, why he's decided to go for it, and the benefits of this system that we're going to fit, and then also the potential issues of the system that we're going to fit.